Hi everyone, it's me, Spring, the fiber enthusiast, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be working up this crocheted beanie. Very simple, everything except for this very last row is double crochets, and you will need 2 colors of yarn. I'm using some brown that I had left over, and for the orange I am using I Love This yarn in the colorway Desert Glaze. It looks like burnt orange to me. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and work this up. As per usual for this style of beanie, you're going to catch a video and you're going to be like, that's not the color yarn she was using. It's a standard increase that I do. And it's from 10 to 60 stitches around. And I have it pre-recorded, and I use that for this style of beanie when I do these. These type of beanies I make up specifically for donation purposes because they are a quick workup. Some of them have textured stitches, some of them have design, different types of things. And I have quite a few of them actually that start with the 60 stitches, super easy increase, a little bit of a design, and then we kind of do a border or a brim on it depending on you. I also try to give you options. Like the last one I showed you in a solid and I showed you in 2 colors. This one I'm going to show you this one, and as we go I'm going to tell you how you can change it and have this above the chain as well. So it kind of gives you another option, and I also give you the option of this rib here, which is just a single crochet. It's a really cool single crochet that I've enjoyed doing for like the guy beanies, the gender neutral beanies, something, you know, that's not got a lot of like girly look to it. If I do a 1x1 ribbing on it, it's still okay. It just, this for some reason, I think gives it a nice edge for that gender neutral purpose. However, I will tell you about how you can do a 1x1 ribbing, or you can follow me and do this. All right, everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out and put in that video of your increase for the crown. And then after you've finished your crown, I'll meet back up with you and we will begin our rounds for the design and the body of that beanie. And then we'll move on to our final row of the brim. Also, I forgot to mention, for this, I am using a eye hook, a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. You'll also need a pair of scissors, a stitch marker, and a darning needle. I'm using worsted weight yarn. All right, so those of you that like to do a magic loop, now's your time to shine. Those of us that like to do a chain 4 and slip stitch to that first chain, here we go. We're going to chain 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to slip stitch to that very first chain to create a ring to work in. Now I do work over the top of my tail so that way I can use it to cinch up the ring. Now, I also do what is known as a mock double crochet, or some have called it a freestanding double crochet. I'm going to go through it real slow with you the very first time, or you can just do the chain 2 or chain 3 or chain 1 and double crochet. However you would do a starting stitch as a double crochet and you're most comfortable, feel free to do so. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to be doing it, so that way when you see me do it throughout the pattern, you'll know what I'm doing. So I draw up a loop to the height of a double crochet, and I place my finger on that loop and I hold it so that way I can slide it back and forth, but it doesn't go around that hook. So I'm holding it nice and tight. I'm going to bring my hook towards me, down and under and back up. That gives us the appearance of 2 loops on our hook. We're going to come around and stick our hook into that ring, yarn over and pull up a loop. We now have the appearance of 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and go through 2. Now this loop you're holding is the top of that mock double crochet. So we're going to yarn over and go through those last 2 and place our stitch marker into the top of that mock double crochet. So right there underneath that loop we were holding. Now we're going to place 9 more double crochets into this ring, giving us a total of 10 double crochets when we slip stitch to our very first stitch. So I'm going to work on my 10 and I'll be right back. All right, so now we've made our 10 double crochets. At this time, you can pull that closed and sew in your tail if you so choose. You can wait until you're completely done to do that if you would like. Now we're going to place 2 double crochets in every single stitch all the way around for round 2. That will give us a total of 20 stitches for round 2. So just 2 double crochets in every single stitch all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and replace my stitch marker. There we are. And 2 double crochets in every stitch. I'll meet up with you after you have your 20 double crochets. All right, so round 3 is 30 double crochets. So we're going to 2 in the first one. Replace my stitch marker back into that first one. And 1 into the next. So that's what your repeat is for round 3. You're going to place 2 double crochets into the next stitch and 1 into the following. And repeat that all the way around for a total of 30 stitches for round 3. Moving on to round 4. Round 4, you will have 40 double crochets. So we're going to place 2 in the first stitch. 1 and 2. Replace my stitch marker. And 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. And that is our repeat. 2 double crochets into the next stitch. And 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Go ahead and continue around with that repeat for round 4. You will have 40 double crochets. I'll meet up with you at the end. All right, for round 5, which is 50 double crochets, we're going to place 2 double crochets into our very first stitch. And then 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. And that will be our repeat all the way around for round 5 for a total of 50 double crochets. So 2 double crochets into the next stitch and 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches for your repeat. All right, I'll meet up with you after we both have 50 stitches. All right, round 6 is our last increasing round, and we will have 60 double crochets. So we are going to place 2 double crochets into the very first stitch and 1 into each of the next 4 stitches. And that will be your repeat for the round. Two double crochets into the next, and 1 into each of the next 4 stitches. Again, at the end of round 6, you will have a total of 60 stitches. I will meet up with you at the end and we will move on to round 1 of our pattern round. All right. Now that you have your crown done, welcome back, and we can begin working on Unhinged Beanie. So the first 3 rounds, if you would like to do it like this, where it is solid one color all the way down to your chain links, you're going to do 3 rounds in the same color you did your crown with. 3 rounds of double crochet, 1 double crochet in every stitch, all the way to the end, slip stitch to your first stitch, and then continue on for 3 rounds. 60 stitches each round. Now, if you would like to change it up a little bit and have this, you're going to do 1 round of double crochet in the main color. Then you're going to do 1 round of double crochet in the secondary color, and then 1 round in the main color again. So those are your options. You can repeat your very last round of 60 stitches, 1 double crochet in every stitch for 3 rounds, and have it look like this. Or you could mix it up and do 1 round solid main color and 1 round of your secondary color, and then a 3rd round with the actual main color. I'm going to go ahead and work on this. I'm going to do this where I have 1 round of solid main color, 1 round of solid secondary color, and 1 round of main color again. That way you'll be able to see what it looks like both ways in the thumbnail picture. All right, so once you have your 3 rounds of double crochets, 60 stitches each round, we're now going to begin the chains. And to start with, we need to start with 2 in our main color. So I'm going to mock double crochet the first stitch and double crochet into our next stitch. I'm not going to finish that double crochet with the main color. I'm going to finish that double crochet with the contrasting color. So that way my next double crochet is all brown. The top of the stitch is not the main color. Now I'm going to work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches in brown, and at the same time I will be working over the top of my orange, carrying it along with me so I can start my next 2 stitches with my yarn in the right position. So I'm going to go ahead and double crochet 8 in brown. This is starting your repeat for the round. When I get to the 8th stitch, I will not complete that stitch in brown. I will complete it in my main color. So we got 2, 4, 6. I need 7, and now 8. Once again, I'm not going to complete it. I'm going to bring up that main color that I carried along the way and finish that stitch with the main color. Now I'm going to work over the top of the brown for 2 stitches. And again, the first stitch will be a completed double crochet in orange. The next one will go to just 2 loops left on your hook. I'll drop that, bring up my brown to finish that stitch. So I still have 2, 1 and 2, but the top of my next stitch is going to be brown. And that's your repeat. So you're going to do 8 in your contrasting color and 2 in your main color. You're going to work your way all the way around. You will end with 8 brown stitches or 8 contrasting color stitches. And I'll meet up with you at the end of the round to show you what to do next. All right, at the end, we're going to slip stitch. We're not changing colors on our last stitch. At the very top of our last stitch, we're going to keep the same color and slip stitch to our very first stitch. Here we go. And now we're going to begin with 4 brown. So I'm going to mock double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and I should have been carrying the orange. Hang on. Let me get my stitch marker here. All right, bring my orange up and carry my orange. There's 2, 3, and on the 4th one, we're going to finish it up with our main color. There we go. And now we're going to begin our repeat. You're going to do 4 in your main color. 1, 2, 3, and on the 4th one, you're going to finish with your secondary color, your contrasting color. Finish that stitch with a contrasting color. And now we're going to work 6 of your contrasting color. Finishing the 6th stitch with your main color and repeating 4 in the main, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 in the contrasting color. All right, go ahead and repeat that all the way around. 4 in your orange and 6 in your brown or main color, contrasting color. I'll meet up with you at the end to show you how to finish up the end and show you what to do for the following round. All right, to end this round, we need to end with 2 contrasting color because we started with 4. We need 2 to complete that 6 of the contrasting color. So I'm just going to go in and do 1 and 2. And now I'm going to slip stitch to my very first stitch. But this time when I slip stitch, I'm going to drop the contrasting color and slip stitch with the main color. Like such. And now we're going to repeat not this last row, but the row before, where we had 2 main color and 8 contrasting color. Same row. So I'm going to start with a mock double crochet into the first and bring my brown over here. I'm going to work over that for the second one and finish the stitch with the contrasting color. So I have my 2 in my main color, and now I need to work 8 in the contrasting color, and I need to repeat that all the way around. So I'm going to continue on to contrasting, 8, 2 main color, 8 contrasting, all the way around to the very end. I will slip stitch with the main color, and I'll meet back up with you to do the last 4 rounds of the beanie. All right, I've come to the end of the 3rd round of that design, and I'm going to slip stitch to my first stitch and back to my main color. Now you have the option to repeat what you did the first 3 rounds, whether it was all 3 rounds were solid or you did and I say solid, if main color, or if you did alternating, main color, contrasting, main color. And that's up to you, how you want to do that. Entirely up to you. I'm going to repeat the main color, contrasting color, main color, just like I have here. And then I'm going to meet back up with you, and I'm going to show you how to work this brim right here, and give you one other option if you wanted to do that. All right, as I said, you can do a 1-by-1 ribbing, which is a front post, back post, front post, back post, and do that all the way around, and do that for several rounds to have this ribbing like this. Or you could do the style that I'm getting ready to show you, which is just a single crochet with a little twist to it, literally. And I don't mean a reverse single crochet either, the crab stitch, but it does give it a really cool textured edge to it, I guess, if you want to call it that. So I'm going to go ahead and start that. Now, I will be doing this in my contrasting color just to kind of finish it up with a nice little contrasting color. Find my hook here. All right. If you were going to do the front post, back post, you would mock double crochet front post or front post and chain up for your first stitch. The next stitch, you would back post double crochet. I do have other videos that show that, and I will try to find one that has that ribbing on it and put that either in a card in the upper right hand corner at this present moment, or it'll be at the end of the video, or maybe even in the description box, depending on where I can get it in fast, so that way you can see it. All right, so for this stitch, and I've done it here lately several times, but I want to show it. You chain 1, we're going to go in as if to single crochet, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Now, I'm going to take my working yarn and bring it towards me, under and behind my hook, and just pass it past my fingers and around those 2 loops. It is not tight. It isn't tight at all. I'm going to yarn over and finish the stitch. Now let's do that again. I'm going to go into the next stitch, yarn over, and pull up a loop. 2 loops on my hook, bringing my working yarn forward and under, passing my fingers and behind, and yarn over and go through those 2 loops. So here's a little bit faster. And then when you come to the end, you just simply slip stitch to your very first stitch, sew in your ends, and you are done with the unhinged beanie. So here it is with the above and below the chain links with the contrasting color. And here it is with it just below it. So you make that decision as to however you so choose to do your color variation. The main thing I wanted to show you was the chain all the way around. And you can work that up pretty quickly, all double crochet except for the very last stitches. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish up that edging, the brim to it, and I'm going to go ahead and call it quits for the day. All right, everyone, be blessed, be a blessing, and until next time, bye for now.